Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack those big, influential ideas that, well, really shape how things work and make them useful for you.
And today, we're tackling something pretty much everyone faces. Organizational change. It's constant, isn't it?
Absolutely. John P. Cotter, who's really the authority here, warns that the pace of change just keeps accelerating. It's not about changing now and then anymore.
No, it's about continuous transformation just to stay in the game.
And let's be honest, most big change efforts, they don't quite succeed, do they?
The odds are definitely tough. Cotter spent years looking at why, pinpointing 8 key mistakes that sink transformations.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Unpack those failures and lay out Cotter's fixes 8-stage process for leading change successfully.
And the core idea running through it all, it takes real leadership, not just good management. Management controls complexity, leadership produces change. Big difference.
Okay, let's get into it. First part of the roadmap, defrosting the status quo. If change is so needed, why isn't it obvious? What's the very first hurdle?
That's fatal error number 1. Allowing too much complacency. It's like a hidden anchor.
Complacency, even when things clearly need to change.
Oh, yeah. It's often not active resistance, more like inertia. Maybe too much past success makes people feel safe, or there's no visible crisis. Or maybe the standards are just too low.
So people are just comfortable.
Exactly. Cotter tells this story about an executive, Adrian, launched a dozen big projects. 2 years later, all just fizzled out, drowned in complacency because he didn't shake things up enough.
Right. So if you don't have that obvious burning platform, say the economy's okay, the competition isn't breathing down your neck yet, how do you manufacture urgency? Sounds a bit risky.
It can be, but Cotter argues it's essential leadership. You might need bold or even risky actions.
Like what? Not just sending a memo, I assume.
Definitely not. It could mean, say, taking your managers to see a competitor who's eating your lunch, or maybe getting really honest customer feedback. Sometimes it's even financial shock therapy.
Like taking a deliberate hit.
Yeah, maybe cleaning up the books to show a big loss one quarter, something to make everyone sit up and realize the current path is dangerous. The goal is to get, 75% of your management convinced the status quo isn't sustainable.
Okay, so you've shattered the complacency, people feel the urgency,
Yeah.
but one person can't drive this alone, right? Which leads to the next mistake.
Spot on. Error number 2. Failing to create a powerful enough guiding coalition, you need a strong team.
Even a really strong CEO can't just dictate change.
Nope. Cotter uses the example of King Henry, a CEO trying to run it all himself. It just doesn't work for major transformations. Things move too fast, they cut across too many departments.
So this guiding coalition isn't just another committee meeting.
God, no. It needs to be a powerful team. Cotter lays out 4 key things it needs.
Okay, what are they?
First, position power. You need key managers, people who run important departments so they don't block things later.
Makes sense.
Second, expertise. You need different skills, different viewpoints, not just yes men.
Right. Avoid groupthink.
Third, credibility. The people in this team need to have good reputations so others trust what they say.
Crucial. And the fourth.
Leadership. This is key. You need actual leaders on the team, people who can drive the change, not just managers who, manage the process. Without that leadership spark, you just get mediocre plans.
And mediocre plans.
Yeah.
That takes us straight to error number 3, right? Underestimating the power of vision.
Exactly. Or, more specifically, failing to develop a clear and compelling vision.
We've all seen those change efforts that are just a confusing mess of projects and programs. Cotter mentions those 4-inch thick notebooks. Nobody reads them. Nobody's inspired.
Right. A plan manages, a budget allocates resources, but only a vision inspires action. It needs to direct people, align their efforts, and motivate them.
So what makes a good vision, according to Cotter?
It has to tick a few boxes. It needs to be imaginable. Can people picture it? Desirable. Does it appeal to long-term interests? Feasible. Is it realistic? Focused. Is it clear enough to guide decisions? And flexible. Can it adapt?
That sounds good in theory, but how do you know if you've actually got one? Is there a test?
There is. Cotter calls it the crucial communication test. It's simple but revealing.
Go.
Can you explain the vision behind the change in 5 minutes or less and get a reaction that shows people not only understand it, but are genuinely interested?
5 minutes. Wow.
If you stumble or people look confused or bored, your vision isn't sharp enough. It's too fuzzy, too complicated.
Okay, 5-minute test. That naturally leads to the next stage and the next error. Under-communicating the vision. Cotter's statistic here is staggering.
It really is. Failing to communicate the vision by a factor of 10, 100, even 1,000.
1,000. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Leaders craft this vision. Presumably they believe in it. Why does the communication fall so flat?
Often it's because they just don't grasp how much other noise employees are dealing with every single day. Your message is competing with everything else.
So a couple of emails and a town hall won't cut it.
Not even close. The communication needs to be, first, simple. Drop the technobabble and MBA speak. Make it clear. Make it direct.
And relentless.
Absolutely. Multiple forums, constant repetition. It needs to be woven into meetings, newsletters, performance reviews, everywhere. Cotter talks about needing tens of thousands of communications.
Tens of thousands. But it's not just words, is it? The sources really hit hard on behavior.
That's probably the most critical piece. Walk the talk. Deeds shout louder than words.
The classic example being
The CEO preaching cost-cutting while spending a fortune remodeling their own office. That one action completely demolishes credibility. Any inconsistency from the leadership, especially the guiding coalition, undermines everything.
okay, so we've built urgency, got the right team, crafted a clear vision, and started communicating it like crazy, backing it up with actions. We're moving into the next phase now, driving action, right?
Exactly. Stage 5, empowering broad-based action. And this tackles error number 5, permitting obstacles to block the new vision.
So even if people are motivated and understand the vision, things can still grind to a halt.
Oh, definitely. People hit these huge obstacles in their paths and just give up. The leader's job here is obstacle removal.
What kind of obstacles we're talking about?
Cotter points to 4 main types. First, structures. Think rigid organizational silos that prevent the kind of cross-functional teamwork the vision requires.
Yeah, classic problem.
Second, skills. Do people actually have the training they need to operate in the new way? Often the answer is no.
So investment in training is key.
Crucial. Third, systems. Things like performance reviews and compensation. Are they still rewarding the old behaviors you're trying to change? If so, you're sending mixed messages.
Undermining the whole effort.
Totally. And fourth, sometimes it's supervisors, the individual manager who digs their heels in.
Ah, Frank the supervisor.
Exactly. That manager who just refuses to adapt their style, who blocks their team from embracing the change. One powerful blocker in the wrong place can poison the well very quickly. You have to address that directly.
Deal with the Franks. Okay, so remove the barriers. What's next for building momentum?
Stage 6, generating short-term wins. This counters error number 6, failing to create those quick, visible successes.
This seems really important for morale, doesn't it? People need to see progress.
Absolutely. Transformations are marathons, not sprints. Without some wins along the way, Cotter suggests within 6 to 18 months, people lose faith. Bosses get impatient. Critics get louder.
He tells that story about the division manager.
Yeah, the charismatic guy launched great stuff, but no quick measurable wins. Got fired after 4 years because HQ lost confidence. The key is, these wins can't be just luck.
You have to plan for them.
Precisely. It's about planning for results, not just hoping. These planned wins do a few things. They provide proof the vision is working, they give you data to refine the strategy, they reward the people working hard on the change.
And they convince the skeptics.
That's huge. They help turn neutrals into supporters and quiet the cynics. It proves the effort is worthwhile and keeps that urgency alive.
So, short-term wins build momentum, which makes the next mistake seem almost counterintuitive, declaring victory too soon.
Oh, it's a killer. Stage 7 is about consolidating gains and producing more change. It's so tempting, after maybe a couple of successful wins, to ease up, maybe declare mission accomplished.
But that's fatal.
Utterly. Cotter warns that years of hard work can unravel with remarkable speed if you let the pressure off too early.
Why does it revert so quickly?
Because organizations are deeply interconnected systems. You change one part, it puts strain on others. If you stop pushing, the powerful forces of tradition and inertia just pull everything back to the old comfortable way. Resistance hasn't vanished, it's just been temporarily overcome.
So stage 7 means keep pushing, even harder.
Essentially, yes. It means using the credibility from the short-term wins to tackle bigger changes, remove more obstacles, and change systems that are still misaligned.
But how do you avoid burning out that core guiding coalition?
But pushing leadership down. Senior leaders keep focus on the big picture, the vision, but they empower managers deeper in the organization to lead specific change projects within that framework. You get more change happening simultaneously, and you develop more leaders.
Spreading the load, building capacity. Makes sense. Which brings us to the final stage, stage 8, And the last fatal error.
Right. Anchoring new approaches in the culture. This tackles error number 8. Neglecting to make the changes stick by embedding them in the very fabric of the organization.
So it's not truly done until it becomes just the way we do things around here.
Exactly. Culture, those shared norms and values, is incredibly powerful, partly because it's often invisible. It's what gets taught to new hires, implicitly or explicitly. Until the new ways of working are rooted in the culture, they're fragile.
How do you actively anchor something in culture?
2 main ways. First, you have to consciously show the connection between the new behaviors and improved performance. People need to see over time that the organization is succeeding because of these changes.
Proof positive.
And second, you use communication, promotions, and symbolism. Remember that CEO Cotter mentions?
The one with the procedure manuals.
Yeah. He wanted to kill the old bureaucratic way, so he held a public ceremony, gave a heartfelt eulogy for the old, thick manuals, and literally buried them. It dramatically symbolized the shift to a new, customer-first approach, linking it to the company's history.
Wow, that's making a statement.
It anchors the change. And crucially, anchoring also means ensuring the next generation of leaders embodies the new approach. Succession planning becomes a key part of making change last.
So let's recap the journey. Create urgency, build the coalition, craft the vision, communicate it relentlessly, empower action, get short-term wins, consolidate and push for more change, and finally anchor it in the culture.
That's the sequence. It's designed step by step to overcome the inertia and resistance that are just inherent in organizations.
It really feels like a blueprint for how organizations need to operate now, doesn't it? This constant capacity for change.
It really does. It points towards needing more leadership throughout the organization, not just at the very top. And it constantly reinforces that difference we started with. Management handles the present, keeps things stable. Leadership creates the future, drives the change. You need both, desperately.
And thinking about the listener, the individual trying to navigate their own career in this constantly shifting world, there's a personal takeaway here too, isn't there, about avoiding our own complacency.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe the biggest takeaway. In a world demanding constant adaptation, your most valuable asset is your commitment to lifelong learning and personal growth.
Cotter has that great analogy near the end.
The twins, Fran and Janice, it's so powerful. Both start with the same capability at age 30. Janice gets comfortable, maybe grows her skills 1% a year. Fran pushes herself, embraces discomfort, aims for 6% growth.
Seems like a small difference year to year.
But compound that over 20 years, Janice ends up with, say, 122 units of capability. Fran. She's at 321, more than double.
Wow, the compounded effect on personal development.
Exactly. Cotter's point is that individuals who keep learning, keep pushing themselves out of their comfort zones, even into their 50s and beyond, become vastly more capable and effective leaders. The change process ultimately starts with you being willing to challenge your own status quo.
A powerful thought to end on. Don't let yourself become the biggest barrier to your own growth.
Couldn't say it better myself.